My word shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I purpose and succeed in the thing for which I sent it. Due to the explanation that Christ gives us, his parable today is not opaque in its meaning. Christ is the sower, the seed is the word of God, so therefore the sower scatters himself. We are the soil. The surprising part, and the part that we might be chagrined to discover, is that 75% of the seeds that are sown are not fruitful. The word of God can be devoured, scorched, and choked. The word of God can only bear fruit in good soil. This is perhaps a surprising thing. But we have a generous God who sows seeds indiscriminately. He sows everywhere, knowing that he might be rejected. We cannot fool ourselves into thinking that the word of God is not always fruitful, because if you examine the parable, we'll discover that the fault lies not in God, not in the seed, but the soil. The seed depends mysteriously on the quality of the soil. Which leaves us with the only question that really matters: what is good soil? Or how can I be good soil? Thanks to Jesus' explanation to the apostles, we can build an answer. Each of the places that Jesus describes the seed as unable to bear fruit lacks something. It's important to realize that each of these situations aren't categories of people, but kinds of responses to the Word of God. So not only can I have moments, sometimes in the same day, where I respond to the Word of God in one of the four ways, but I can also have all four responses present in my soul right now. So let's examine the responses. On the path, the seed encounters a lack of understanding. When I understand something, I make it my own. I make it a part of me that no one can steal away. When I don't understand something, and when I even lack the interest to seek understanding, that is when the seed is easily devoured, stolen away. In this response, my mind and my heart are hard, like the path, because they are distracted by other things, and the seed becomes a mere curiosity or an interesting idea. On the rocky ground, the seed encounters a lack of roots. Think about the motivation that arises when you see how out of shape you are, or some new skill that you want to learn, and then how quickly it falls when you realize how much hard work it will take. In the same way, this response to the Word of God germinates, sprouts, and perhaps even grows. But because it is superficial, simply a surface excitement, it fails, like the house built on sand, and it cannot withstand anything. Only roots can offer permanence and strength. Among the thorns, the seed is choked by the thorns of worldly anxiety and the delight of deceitful riches. In this soil, the Word of God takes root as one among many things. These other things are things that turn us away from God, anything that turns us away from God. Jesus tells us that these things can be comforts and material riches, but also worry, fear, and anxieties. These things can also be humdrum things, things that unobtrusively turn us away from God. In this response, the Word of God does not take priority over and above all things, because it says yes both to the gospel and to worldly success and enjoyment. So, good soil seeks understanding. Good soil grows deep roots. Good soil refuses to allow anything to come in the way of the seed's growth. Above all, the one whose heart bears good soil is the one who lives in open receptivity to the Word of God. This is perhaps the most difficult but most important quality to cultivate. Human nature resists grace. Think of any time you have avoided pain or hard work. We do it somewhat naturally. We do the same thing when we are tempted by sin. Faced with an option to change, to not sin, we choose the painless option, which is often the choice without grace, which is often the choice to sin. So we resist grace because grace comes to change us, and that is painful. We do not give ourselves totally to Christ. We don't cultivate good soil. We don't put the growth of the seed above all because we believe that it is too hard. Except it's not. Through baptism, we have been made holy and made children of God. And not only have we been made holy, but we are continually being made holy. God longs for the bad soil of our hearts to be transformed into good, fertile soil, and so He works towards that. The Word of God tills and fertilizes the soil of our hearts, constantly scattering His seeds. Our work then is to cooperate with God so that we can have good soil in every part of our being, no matter what other types of soil we may initially discover ourselves to respond with. The sower has never stopped sowing. The seed has never lost its power. The only question is the soil.